Welcome to Advice in Southern Tales. My name's Leah, and this is Amanda. She is our
Amanda.
co-host. We just want to welcome you to our video podcast. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Any advice we give is only our
Advice. Yes.
and opinion. How are you, Amanda?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I've had a long week. For those of you that don't know, my dog, that would be Evan, next week passed away, and I don't want to start crying. It has been a week, but enough about that.
Well, yeah.
What?
People can come to you and say, I'm so sorry or whatever, but unless you've had a pet to die, you can't even get 100% of the grasp of it. It is sad, and I'm so sorry for you because I have walked in those shoes.
Our other dog lived to about 17, and I think I just assumed that she would, probably make it to 15, and she would have been 11 next week. And she's the dog that made me like dogs because I've never had a dog in my house. First of all, we didn't grow up with dogs in the house. Y'all didn't either, did y'all? Had Gumbo, that big Saint Bernard?
Yeah. And then when I left the house is when they got a inside dog. So that was always my thing. The minute I got on my own, I was gonna get a dog, and I did. I got
Mm-hmm.
one like 3 days after I'd been married.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that went. It didn't. You need to take that dog back where you got it. And I was like, no, I'm keeping it.
Buffy, she was the best dog ever. And I know a lot of people think that about their dog, but she just had the sweetest, kindest demeanor because Catherine Ann, it was her dog. She was in 7th grade. And she carried her in a baby blanket for years. I think that's why she's so sweet, or she was so sweet and loving. And
When that happened to me, and my last dog, well, the one before the last, he lived to be 21. Okay.
mhm.
He was 21 years old. And yeah, going to work actually helped me because it got my mind off of it.
I just feel like Mr. Pup's the only one here, and I just feel, the only dog, and I just feel like he's
Yeah.
so pitiful because every time I get in the car, he wants to go with me. Like yesterday, I had to take Eddie to the doctor, and he jumped up in the car, and I was like, no, Mr. Pup, you got to stay here. And finally, I just went and got his crate, put him in the car, and parked in the sun, and he just took a nap riding down the road. And then when we got out, it took us 30, 45 minutes. But now he's just like my little buddy. He wants to go everywhere with me.
Hey, has Mr. Pup have a YouTube channel?
No, he's got a TikTok, Mr. Pup Boston
TikTok.
Terrier.
Okay, I
Yeah.
knew. Oh my gosh, what is it?
It's called Mr. Pup Boston Terrier.
Okay, that every time I see one, yeah,
He
it is. It's good for your soul.
It is.
That would even be
Catherine,
good for people that didn't even like dogs. That doesn't like dogs. It will make you happy.
yes, I know.
And you do such a good job putting the song with his mood.
Like, who let the dogs out? Yeah, and Buffy's on there
know.
too a lot. So that's all I've been
Mhm.
doing is watching videos of her. But
Yeah.
anyway, so we have a question tonight, and it's geared to both of us. And it says, Leah and Amanda, how did you ever think to start a podcast at your age? And exactly what is your age? Question mark. Well, I used to be embarrassed to tell my age, but I'm not anymore, and we're the same age.
Yeah, but I've been watching Younger on Netflix, and
I have too.
no,
I think that's why I stepped up my game tonight because I was like, I gotta be looking better now. I gotta put on some makeup because she does look.
she does. But listen, this is real life. I'm still on, but I gotta let my dog out. But keep on talking because I'm right on here. Go ahead.
Okay. So I
And
don't
so
have on
I've been,
hearing aids. Like these do look like hearing
uh,
aids, but they are my new. I think that's why I fixed my hair a little different because two people asked me if I had on hearing aids, and I was like, no. But this is
well,
going to
but
go into
hey,
our question.
all I got to say about that is thank goodness that we have hearing aids,
Well, I know if we
or who
didn't,
needs
Eddie
them.
couldn't hear anything I said, and my mama, she
Well,
can't
thank
hear
goodness
either.
we have readers. I mean, I couldn't see nothing to read if I didn't have readers. Thank goodness we have that.
Yeah,
I don't even
back to the
remember.
question.
Yeah.
The question was, how did
Yeah.
we think to start a podcast at our age, and what is our age? So our age is 57. So Amanda and
Mhm.
I have known each other for, gosh, I don't know. I remember really first meeting her, I guess, in kindergarten. We were in the
Yeah,
same
we were in
kindergarten.
5-year-old kindergarten.
Because used to they
I
didn't
don't
have
think
it
they
at
I think they
at the
did it
school.
and I
I
don't
don't
think
think
they had
so.
4-year-old then. We were in kindergarten together. That was our first encounter.
So that's 52 years we've known each other. So we
Hmm.
go way back. So tell them how we started the podcast. It was my idea.
Years before that, every time we would get together, we would start reminiscing on the old stories of just us growing up. And then we would always say, "This is so good. I hate people are missing out." Like maybe people aren't as interested as we think they are, but it was so good. It's like you hate not to tell about it. So we said, well, we're going to write a book about it. And maybe by the time we're retired, we'll have it done. And that didn't go past the prologue in the beginning of the book for a whole
Mm-mm.
year or two. So we gave up on that. I told Leah, I said, if we could write a book, I believe it would be so good that it would be a Netflix series coming up. And I said, and
Yeah.
I'm already getting nervous about having to go be on the Today Show. I would be nervous. And I was
Mm-hmm.
already getting nervous because I think that much of the stories because they make me laugh and it's about me. And I just feel like
Yeah.
it can make people happy or laugh. We couldn't write a book. So one day Leah called me, and I'm telling you, this was out of the blue, like came out of nowhere. She said, "I've been thinking about it," and I said, "What?" And she said, "We're gonna have a podcast." And I was like, "Instead of a book," she said, "We can't get anywhere with a book. We're gonna have a podcast." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Do you have to show your face?" And she said,
Yes.
"Yeah, I think so." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." Like, but I wasn't for that. But anyway, it's been fun. But as we found out, it's a lot of work, and not for me, even though it is, but for you having to do all the everything.
Yeah. It's been a learning experience for me because um Amanda and I are both self-diagnosed dyslexic
I'm
by
gonna
me
close the door.
because
Yeah.
I'm a teacher, and I just saw the signs in other family members, in my students, and I figured it out. We just thought we were dumb and dumber in school, but really, we were dyslexic and didn't know it.
So diagnosed, it would have been ADD also.
Yeah,
Can't stay on train of thought.
that goes along with each other most of the time. Matter of fact, there's a dyslexic school here, and they will not even take you if you don't have that ADD test or ADHD test too,
Really?
because it's so intertwined. Yep, sure is.
Oh,
Back to the
I'm serious.
question.
That was our problem.
Yeah, it was, and it all worked out, but I'm
Yeah.
glad now there's better ways to teach kids. Like, we've
And to
learned that,
deal with it.
right, that kids are better off with learning phonetically. For ADHD, there's, diets, there's medication. Just wonder, had we been born in today's time, how would it be different? Like, I don't know. Schools hadn't really changed that much in the last 100 years. I mean, they have, obviously, but kids still sit at a desk, teachers still in front of the class. And I've heard about this school out in Texas called 2 Hour Learning. And they do on the computer, taught by AI, 2 hours a day. And then the rest of the day, they can do things that they enjoy. Now, I know that sounds
Well,
far fetched. What do you think?
I honestly could not tell you what you just said, but here's what I was thinking. I'm thinking this. I want to give a hooray out to the parents of our generation's parents because our medication was come home after school and eat a half a box of Fruit Loops or Sugar Pops or Sugar Smacks. That was our medication was sugar. We
Mhm.
didn't even have water back then to drink. We drank sweet tea. You know what
Yep,
I'm
and
saying?
the
So
water came out
our
of the water
parents,
hose.
yeah, but our parents back then, they really had to deal with a lot because they didn't know anything about sugar making kids hyper. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe they did, but we never
We definitely probably would have been tested for that if they'd known what it
ran. We
was.
ran the grocery bill up too.
Then after your snack, they'd shut the door and go, "Don't come back till supper." And they meant it.
Hmm.
Like,
Around in the neighborhood, barefooted, just running like we were going 90 to nothing,
well,
just going to
sometimes you
see who
had
wants to
to.
play.
Well, you had to when the
Yeah,
pavement was so hot. You had to run fast
I
because
know.
sometimes that grass would have splinters in it.
It had bull. That's what you call bull heads. They had bull heads in them. Bull heads
Yeah,
are little briars that they look like a. They almost look like a four-leaf clover, but they're a lot finer grained, like a fern. But they're called bull heads, and they will stick in your feet. And oh, in the
it's so
summertime,
hard to get them out too because you can barely see them. Do you know what I'm talking
you
about?
can't see them. I know what the leaf looks like.
Yeah, I've stepped on
Because
them,
we
man.
used to
They
play a
hurt.
game. They do hurt, but we used to play a game at Granny's house where we would say, run across there and get on the sidewalk, and ever who had the see, there I go, ever who. I said that backwards.
Dyslexic. Yeah.
Whoever has the most bullheads in their feet wins the competition. So we would try to get the most bullheads in our feet played.
Well, the game I would have said was, "I'm not playing that. Let's get over here on the driveway and play Red Rover, Red Rover."
Come
Send
right
her
over.
right over. And I remember we were playing at school one day and somebody broke their arm. Because, I mean, we was serious about the Red Rover. We had to make our own fun. These kids now, it's a different day and age. Back to the question. So the question was, why did we start the podcast? Amanda said, I do most of the work, and I do.
She
But
does.
for me, it's been a learning experience. And I'm the type, I love learning about things. It's almost like I may be a little bit on the spectrum because I get OCD about certain things and I can't get it off my mind.
See, I'm the kind that I'm like the old dog that don't like new tricks, and I don't like to learn as much about all that.
Well,
Yeah, and you want to.
yeah, I like to learn, but I like listening to podcasts or audiobooks, or I like to watch series that are good. I've been watching that Younger too. Do
Me
I look
too.
younger tonight? I need to take these
You
glasses
look
off,
the
but
best.
I don't
You
have
look good,
mascara on.
Leah. You look good.
Well, I think it's my lighting. The last one, I was trying to copy somebody else's lighting I'd seen on their video podcast, and it didn't work out too good. But
No, well, yours
somebody
looks
left
good
us a
tonight.
comment. It was a negative comment. That's all I'll say. And at our age, I mean, I'm not saying that negative comments don't bother me, but not near like they would have back in the day. It's like by the time you
Hmm.
get 57, you've lived so much of your life. If somebody doesn't like you, I just feel like, well, that's their loss. Like they must
Yeah,
have
and
problems.
everybody can decide for themselves.
Right. I'm going to be nice to everybody. Matter of fact, that's our motto: love others and remember,
Be kind.
be kind.
Yeah.
I
We
just That's just who we are. So that's if you're not that way, you don't have to watch us. You certainly don't have to leave a bad comment because I mean, what purpose does that serve? You think that's gonna make us quit doing this? Because we just want
Yeah,
our
and
people.
everybody has their own decision. Everybody has their own opinion. So it's
That's
like
right.
fine that you left your opinion or your comment, but it's not going to stop us from doing it because we do love doing this. We talk every day anyway. This is a
Right.
plus. Just
And
getting to
one
see
thing
each
I'll
other when we
say,
talk.
in 57 years, not that it may have taken me this long, but I've learned you can't make everybody happy. Whether you're
I
teaching
learned that a
school
while
or
ago.
cutting hair or
Anything,
anything, you can't
anything.
make everybody happy.
No.
It's just like, at Christmas, if you buy presents, well, somebody's not going to like your present. So that's why I just started giving money.
Yeah. everybody, I mean, you can use that whatever way you want to.
I guess because that's not my love language, and I love to get gifts. I just don't like to shop. I used to. Did you?
I don't either. I used to, but I don't anymore. That's
Right.
my least favorite. I need a
I
personal
do
shopper.
too. In the beginning of your life, you want to be in style and stuff. And I guess some people are like that to the end of their life. But I've just gotten, as I get older, I don't care as much. I mean,
Well,
I do care.
there's a fine line. There's a fine line with that. Because, yes, in the beginning, then you go through that stage that where it's more so like not caring exactly what you end up saying. Not to hurt people, because I would not say it if I couldn't say something positive. Anyway, see, I lost my train of thought. But it
Well,
was
we'll edit
good.
that
What were we
out.
just saying?
I don't know. I would just say also, we just need to embrace failure because sometimes you're going to fail in your life. And that's okay because when you fail, I think you learn the most because it sticks with you. A couple of more years into this, if we're just getting bad comments, I don't know, we may take a different path. But that doesn't mean we
Hey,
failed because we tried.
the other night you told me that I had a lot of analogies that night. And
Mm-hmm.
this is just in another conversation that Leah and I had on the phone. Okay, taking from what you just said, you said walking through the mud, it sticks to you, as you grow. When it sticks to you, the more it sticks to you, the bigger you're going to get. So the more you're going to grow.
Yeah,
That's a
that
good
is a good
analogy.
analogy.
Yeah,
That is,
because if it sticks to you,
right?
the more it sticks to you, the more you're going to grow, and you can use that in the way we're talking about.
I hope we always have a growth mindset because I once heard that comfort is the most dangerous addiction. Because if you get
I
too
can see that.
comfortable the way you are and just being satisfied and never wanting to be a better person or never wanting to grow, that's not a great thing because everybody, and I'm talking about everybody, has room to improve
Hmm.
something in their life, whether it's
That's what he's thought.
helping others or being kind or write us a
Anything.
good comment. Don't be sending bad comments. I'm not that person. I have never even written a comment on like a YouTube video ever until the last 2 weeks. And I was watching this old man, but he was 80 years old and he kept popping up on my YouTube because once you start watching things, like if you watch another podcast with two girls or, our
Hmm.
age, then another one might pop up. It's like an algorithm and it learns what you like. And so this old man kept popping up. And I'm like, dang, he's getting popular because every time I turn on the YouTube, his face is popping up. Well, I just thought, and one of them said, I started a YouTube channel at 80 years old. And I thought, now he kind of looked like Santa Claus. He had white hair and a beard. And I thought, he's just old and cute. That's why he's getting popular. And I never clicked on it. And then I clicked on one of his videos, and he was so good. Like, he was so motivational and so positive. He was just a person I loved listening to. So I wrote a comment, and it was the first, and it was a very edifying comment saying, I just told him what I said. I said, I thought you were getting popular because you were old and cute. I just binged listened to about 4 or 5 of his videos. And one of them was about he was adopted and he had met his adopted parent or mother and his real mother. He was making an analogy and he said, one gave me birth, one gave life. His niche or niche, whatever it's called, is kind of like
Niche.
ours.
I'd
Just
say
like,
niche.
I think it's a niche. But his is just like ours. Just be edifying, build others up. Don't knock them down.
Hey, you know what the analogy is on this? And maybe it's not even an analogy. I could be wrong. It could be another word that somebody may can send me the word and they'll tell me what it is. Same story would be that a 20-year-old is telling somebody that every time she clicks on it, these two old ladies are popping up, meaning us. We're old to a 20-year-old. And then
Yeah.
they could say, I clicked on them because I like same thing could be somebody 20-year-old could be thinking like about us as you thought about him.
Being 80. Yeah. Maybe they'll think we're cute and we're
Exactly.
old.
And they would because,
But you know what?
they're young.
It doesn't bother me anymore, though. For years and years, I would not tell my students. They'd say, "How old are you, Miss Daggett?" And I'd go, I always say, when you ask a lady's age, I always say, if she says, "How old do I look?" I always say 25. That's a great answer. I taught them. They would say, "How old are you, Miss Daggett?" 25. And I'd say, "You're close." But I didn't even want to tell them, like, after I got over 40, because I was thinking some of their grandmas were that age. And I didn't want them to associate me with a grandma. I wanted them to associate me with a fun teacher. You know what I mean? I encourage anybody to do what we're doing because let me tell you something. If nothing else, we're making a documentary for our grandchildren because YouTube is not going
Exactly.
anywhere.
Hey, that'd be more important to me than if it did go somewhere.
Right. So, I
Yeah,
mean, don't you wish that like we could pull out a computer and watch our grandmothers talking to each other? Like they would be
I
talking
sure
about
do.
completely different things. They wouldn't be talking about making a podcast. So
They would have
I'm
been
just
talking
saying
about how they quilted something or the tomatoes that day.
it's a
If
good, if you do want to start a YouTube channel, this is just some tips that I've learned because, like I said, I've watched a lot of videos. And I'll be honest, I don't know who to trust. We need some help, like some guidance, like on our niche or niche, whatever it's called. We need somebody to tell us how to get good comments, not bad comments. And I've listened to all these podcasts and I hear different information. Like this one
Well, I
guy's
don't
like,
think anybody's going to be able to tell you how not to get a bad comment because anybody can comment or
we
whatever.
just want to make it, we want to make the podcast good. So if anybody has any suggestions that you can say in a nice way, and I know some
Yeah,
things can't be said in
we want to
such a
make you
nice way.
tear up. Hey, we want to make you tear up a little bit, whether it be happy or funny. Either one, happy or funny, not sad, but
Yes.
happy or funny.
Like I said, we need help. We don't know who to trust. But we've learned a lot. I've learned my lighting looks better tonight. So if you watch the last podcast, I was just trying to follow this other person. It had all these pretty lamps behind them. And so I turned on all my lamps and it looked like crap. I
Well,
guess we're going to sign
looks
off.
good. All right.
So I think the advice we could take today is if you think of something and you think it's important, just go for it. I mean, all you can do is
That's right.
fail, and if you fail, you're gonna learn from it. So it's always
Exactly.
important to learn. Okay.
That's right. Bye.